There's a quote from Brian Wilson I'd like to read to start with. He said that music is the highest kind of love we get. And clearly, as we saw in the film, he's dedicated his life to pursuing that truth. Where you can tell us what drew you to the project, and was there a narrative spine that you followed to tell his story?
Well, as I said before, I'd been a Beach Boys fan forever, going way back, and A&E had the foresight and confidence in Peter and myself to do this documentary. And the way I thought about telling the story was to tell it, like I said before, from the inside out, to tell it in a very strictly chronological way, because Brian's life becomes such a mess and it's so complicated that I didn't want to lose sight of what happened in his early life. And in fact, I used that Billy Corgan quote at the end of the first hour, where he says, we get caught up in the isms of his life, but we can't lose track of what he did at that time. And if it was for 1 year, 5 years, 10 years, Brian had hit his stride and he gave the public a gift. And so that's just to kind of remind you that in the next hour, you're going to see all the bad stuff that happens to Brian. But don't forget what you just saw.
Right.
So.
No, I would, if I could say something about Morgan, whenever we do a documentary, it's our goal just to really listen and not to judge. That doesn't mean not having our own personal feelings and opinions about somebody, but I was struck by how you just allowed people to have their say and didn't correct contradictions, because their life is contradictions. And a story like this, where you have such talent and then such tragedy, you have to just look at both, and one doesn't cancel out the other, and I think you did that really well.